Predicting the future has always been a lifelong debate among scholars and the rest of the world. Do you believe that there's some gifted with the ability to see into the future? Here are the top 5 people who accurately predicted the future. We start off our list at number 5 with Baba Vanga. Baba Vanga was raised in Stumbrica, a village located at a mountain range in the then Ottoman Empire. At the age of 12, she lost her eyesight due to a massive storm that many described as a crazy tornado. It is said that she was flung into the air and thrown to the ground by the wind. She was found days later at the brink of death by her family. It was during those days that she said she experienced her first vision, and she claimed that she now had the ability to heal people and to predict the future. In 1995, at 85 years old, she passed away and was dubbed the Nostradamus from the Balkans. Throughout her life, she made many predictions, and shockingly, most of them came true. She predicted ISIS and their rise. She warned of chemical warfare between the Muslims and the Europeans, which accurately described the Syrian gas attack. She said that Europe will cease to exist by 2017, which did not happen, but rather Brexit happened. Baba Vanga also claimed that the 44th US president would be a person of color, but she also claimed that he would be the last president, which didn't happen. And perhaps the most astonishing of all her predictions, in 1979, during a meeting with Valentin Sidorov, she said, "All will thaw as if ice. Only one remain untouched, Vladimir's glory, the glory of Russia." This predicts that one day, a leader named Vladimir would propel Russia, and in 2018, Vladimir Putin won the election. Her future predictions include that World War III will indeed happen, and Russia will not only survive, but dominate the world. At number 4, we have the American faith healer, Edgar Cayce. He is also popularly known as the Sleeping Prophet. He is the most documented psychic of the 20th century, having spent most of his adult life giving psychic readings to over 1,000 seekers while sleeping. In sleep, he's revealed the past lives that we have lived, diagnosed illnesses, and prophecies that would soon come. Cayce was born in Hopkinsville, Kentucky in 1877. As early as his childhood, he possessed psychic abilities. He was able to communicate with his grandfather's spirit, and many other spirits that he had met were his imaginary friends. He also had the unique ability of being able to memorize entire pages of a book by sleeping on it. In adult life, he was able to induce himself into a sleep-like state where he was able to place his mind in contact with the universal consciousness or the superconscious mind. He has had many accurate predictions throughout the years. In 1939, Cayce predicted the death of 2 US presidents. In 1945, President Franklin D. Roosevelt died in office, and 18 years later, JFK was assassinated in Dallas. He also predicted the collapse of the Soviet Union. Freedom, that each man will live for his fellow man. The principle has been born there. It will take years for it to be crystallized, yet out of Russia comes again the hope of the world. In 1924, he predicted the stock market crash of 1929, telling his clients to prepare for the crash and the market. He also claimed that the crash would be the trigger of something even worse, and then came the Great Depression. And perhaps what is his most eerie prediction is that in 1934, he predicted the rise of Adolf Hitler, stating that imperialism is entering, and that Hitler would remain in power until his time has come as an overthrow or an outside war, which obviously did happen. And to add the cherry on top, he predicted his own death when on January 1st, 1945, he claimed that he would be buried in 4 more days. On January 3rd, he passed away, and 2 days later, he was buried in his hometown of Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Next at number 3, we have Nostradamus. The most widely read seer of the Renaissance, Nostradamus was a French physician and astrologer. He had a medical practice that started in the 1530s, even though he'd been expelled from medical school. But what Nostradamus was most famous for are his prophecies. He began writing prophecies in 1547, which he eventually published in a book, Centuries, in 1555. Some of his prophecies were coming true, which led to him becoming famous and being invited to the court of some significant people. Some of these people included Catherine de' Medici and Charles IX. His prophecies came in the form of rhymed quatrains paired with paintings. He had prophecies that span entire centuries and generations. Some of his most famous predictions are: the death of King Henry II. The young lion will overcome the older one. On the field of combat in a single battle, he will pierce his eyes through a golden cage. 2 wounds made 1, then he dies a cruel death. The French Revolution. From the enslaved populace songs, chants and demands, while princes and lords are held captive in prisons. These will in the future, by headless idiots, be received as divine prayers. And perhaps his most famous prophecy of all, 9/11. Earth-shaking fire from the center of the earth will cause tremors around the new city. 2 great rocks will war for a long time. Then Arethusa will redden a new river. At number 2, we have Sylvia Browne. Sylvia Browne made her fame by appearing regularly on TV and radio. With shows such as Larry King Live and The Montel Williams Show, she claimed to be a medium with psychic abilities. She even hosted an hour-long radio show on Hay House Radio. With Sylvia Browne, her predictions were hit and miss, with a whole lot of misses. She gained controversy when she made predictions that included missing persons, most of which never came true. Despite the controversy, which included a theft charge in 1992, she had a cult following that remained large up until her death in 2013. But for all her misses, there is one hit that somewhat checks out. In her 2008 book, End of Days: Predictions and Prophecies About the End of the World, she predicted this: in around 2020, a severe pneumonia-like illness will spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and the bronchial tubes and resisting all known treatments. Almost more baffling than the illness itself will be the fact that it will suddenly vanish as quickly as it arrived, attack 10 years later, and then disappear completely. Sound familiar? It appears that in 2008, Sylvia Browne predicted the rise of the coronavirus and the coronavirus pandemic. She may have her misses, but this is one hit that we simply just can't ignore. And topping off our list at number 1, we have Wolf Messing. Wolf Messing was a Polish-Russian psychic and a telepathist. He was born in Góra Kalwaria, a village 25 kilometers southeast of Warsaw. He developed psychic abilities in his early life, which led to him performing for the public when he was a teenager. His parents wanted him to become a rabbi, but he had other plans, as he felt he had a different calling in life. He decided to flee home in pursuit of Berlin. He even famously used his telepathic skills by broadcasting mental suggestions to alter perceptions. When he hid under a train, he grabbed a piece of newspaper, and when he was found by a guard, the guard told him, why is he hiding under the train when he had a ticket anyway? He's considered the most celebrated psychic of the 20th century, and he has 2 key predictions that came true. He predicted the end of World War II in front of numerous witnesses, including Joseph Stalin, and he also predicted the death of Stalin himself. He said that Stalin would not stop the persecution of the Jews, that he would die on a Jewish holiday, which he did. For the bonus section of our video, we have the ever-popular Simpsons predictions. The Simpsons is the longest-running American sitcom in TV history. They also have gained a cult reputation of being able to predict the future. Their episodes consist of out-of-this-world scenarios that eventually happened in real life. This includes Donald Trump winning his election, Tom Hanks catching coronavirus, Lady Gaga's Super Bowl halftime show, the death of Harambe the gorilla, the Ebola virus, 9/11, even the Game of Thrones finale. These are just a handful of things that The Simpsons predicted, which begs the question, what's next? Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe to catch our next 2 videos.